We're working with slightly lower camera and sound quality today, but that's alright, because I'm not at my house. Exciting, exciting.
Based on the change in your tone, I assumed that we started.
Yeah, but sometimes I include things that are prior just because they're funny.
Yeah, no, I've seen that.
You have access to the Patreon, technically, because you're an admin on that email account.
Yeah, I pay my money.
You do indeed. And it is
sort of the same thing.
And it is greatly appreciated.
Sort of the same thing. I'm sort of a patron.
Technically we're all patrons because we have to pay for the ACAST subscription, but whatever.
Yeah. Self-funded.
Self-funded indeed.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm very not used to having like a no monitor situation going on for me. This is extremely strange, but you know what? We're just gonna deal with it. We're gonna work with it.
Same, because the only computer is like all the way over there.
But that's fine.
It's okay. It's different. It's a different experience. Really, this is the second time we've done this. Just 2 instead of 3.
Yeah. And I did actually bring my like whole ass camera that time. Which I didn't think to do, but again, that's on me.
Yeah, this is like super easy compared to that. It's just a laptop.
I know, I had the ring light last time and everything.
Yeah, we're like, no, laptop and here's a lamp.
Well, because we thought we were going to need the desktops out because we thought Zach was going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
But then we were like, wait, it's going to be so dumb if it's just me sitting behind you. But the both of us looking directly at camera.
So like I'd be talking to you, but you're sitting back there.
Yeah, so this was our last minute workaround.
It works. That's all that matters.
In the words of my high school history teacher, if it's stupid and it works, it ain't stupid. To which I say, wise words, Mary Ellen.
Yeah.
Anyway, first question is one that I came up with because of who I am as a person. How early is too early to start decorating for Halloween? Because God knows I went out and bought Halloween decorations September 1st, baby.
Well, I feel like maybe the better way to phrase that is like, how early can you start? Because like hypothetically, you said how early it's too early. March is too early. Okay. April's too early. May's too early. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's fair game in September, but like really more like October.
Here's the thing. There's a house in my neighborhood, like my parents' neighborhood now, technically, because I have a apartment. What? It's so weird to like say like, I'm just like, oh yeah, my house. I'm like, yeah, no, not anymore.
It's still weird for me.
It's very strange.
Like every time.
And also saying my house is weird because it's not a house, it's an apartment. But I feel like I feel stupid saying my apartment almost. I don't know
just
why.
Like go my place or something.
That's generally what I do. Yeah. But
actually, this place is an apartment. And when I first moved in, my brother referred to it as a house, and I tried to correct him, and he was like, but it's a townhouse. And I was like, you know what? By God, you're right. So it is a house.
No, yeah. I just like say my house out of like, because that's what I've been saying for, like if I was, when I was at my parents' house, if I was like inviting one of my friends over to come swim or something, like even like recently when I was like 22, I'd be like, hey, you want to come swim at my house? Like, yeah. Breaking old habits is weird. Anyway, in the neighborhood where my parents' house is, one of our neighbors like is a man after my own heart. Really like goes all out for Halloween. Gets super excited about it, and it's really sweet because like they have young kids, and he's like really enthusiastic about like doing Halloween with them. It's really cute. Okay. So that house always gets decorated really early, and I respect it because it's a big setup. And, like, if you only have that up for, like, it's a big setup. Like, this guy, he, like, hand makes all these, like, he made this giant, like, PVC, this guy's an engineer. He made this giant, like, PVC spider that he's, like, wired up with lights himself. Like, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to put that up for just 1 month. And, like, if I ever have an actual, like, house, one, it's going to look haunted as hell regardless of time of year. I just want to have a house that makes people afraid.
Sure.
But I'm going to be the person who turns their front lawn like into an attraction, And I don't want that up for just 1 month.
But, like, I feel like if you make the argument that Halloween can be 2 months in terms of the decorations, you have to allow that for, like, every holiday? Right? Because then, like, Christmas starts November 1st in terms of decorations.
I think that one is kind of difficult because I do get excited for Christmas pretty early, but, like, I let Thanksgiving have its time because I love Thanksgiving. Like, I'm very here for Thanksgiving as a holiday, so, like...
Yeah, but people put a lot of effort into their Christmas decorations, too.
And I'm not saying that it should be only Halloween. Like, if you feel the way about Christmas that I do about Halloween, go nuts.
Yeah.
Like, I am not here to tell people, like, to confine their enjoyment to particular dates.
Yeah.
But, like, Halloween is my favorite holiday, and if I ever have, like, a house that I can, like, go all out insane, I want that shit up for a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's the point of this question is, like, do whatever makes you happy, you know?
Essentially,
whatever decorations up year round, just do it.
But, like, even just, for me, August is too early.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm thinking, like, in the general sense, not necessarily for me personally, but, like, the general sense of probably what people think. And I feel like October 1st is probably, like, you know, the time to start decorating for most people.
The time for weak bitches.
Or
the time for people like me.
People who aren't as lazy as I am.
Valid.
I used to, once upon a time, when I was in grad school, decorate for Christmas, like, a little bit. I put lights around my living room windows and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cute.
But, yeah, I haven't done it since I finished grad school, like, almost a decade ago. I graduated in 2013. I know, right?
I'm not going to tell you
I finished my PhD in 2013.
I'm not going to tell you what I was doing in 2013. But no, I mean, you don't technically not decorate. I have come over here around the holidays, and you have, like, a little tree.
Oh, yeah, my little, like, 2-foot tall.
It's not nothing.
Yeah. I was trying to remember. The tree itself is, like, 2 feet, and then there's a little stand that's, like, another foot, so it's almost 3 feet.
So, I mean, it's not nothing.
Well, that was a gift from my mother when I was in college.
I have a little tiny tree as well, which I'm already thinking about where that's going to end up when it does eventually make its way out. I'm like, ooh, because I get to decorate things for the first time, which is really exciting. And I didn't go quite as nuts with buying Halloween decorations as I wanted to on September 1st, because there was, like, a shit ton of stuff at just, like, you know, like Michael's, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, whatever. Because I think all the stuff, like, obviously there's still supply chain issues going on, but, like, there seems to be, like, just, like, a massive influx of, like, a ton of Halloween decorations. My mom was like, you know what? I think a lot of the stuff that, like, got, like, backlogged last year is hitting stores this year along with
the new stuff.
With the new stuff. So she's like, give it a couple weeks. You're gonna get a ton of the stuff discounted. So, like, I'm waiting for that to happen, and I'm gonna go even more nuts.
Yeah, I mean, again, I generally don't decorate just because, like, partially laziness and busyness, but also partially because, like, there's no one to really enjoy it.
That's
fair. But I like looking at the spooky decorations, and there's some high quality things at home.
We don't have an at home near me, I don't think.
I was just there like a week or so ago, and they just had rows and rows and rows.
I should look and see if there's one near me, because I don't think there is, but I am often wrong.
I was gonna say we could stop by, but we are very limited on time this trip.
I know, which is weird, because it's usually us sitting around here for, like, several hours doing several hours trying to figure out what to do.
Well, you've also been here for, like, 3 hours. We could have gone.
We could have, but I also never could do that.
Not me either. Yeah, but I mean, some really cool, fun things, and I briefly thought, I was like, maybe I could just put up a couple things. Like, the fun thing to do would be to put stuff, like, on my windowsill.
Yeah, little stickies.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's more on the window, but I was like, wouldn't it be fun to get, like, one of these, like, little decorative whatever things and set it there, but the cats would just knock it over repeatedly. Yeah. That's their window. Even if I stuck things on the window, there's a good chance they would try to bat at them. And
you put it right way on top.
I don't know, they're pretty stretchy.
Okay.
And
valid.
A certain cat, I'm not naming names, looks for trouble. I think she's in the kitchen eating. I think I just heard a crunch.
Love her. Causing trouble. We stand. Yeah, no.
Her life's
My mom is we, like, have run out of space for this, so it doesn't always get put up, but my mom is a big, like, Dickens Village lady, like, around Christmas, where it's, like, a little China.
Okay. I was so confused for a second, because I thought you were talking about Halloween, and I'm like, excuse me?
No, I'm sure those 100% exist, though.
Yeah.
But, like, that takes up a lot of real estate, and, like, I think it would look nice on, like, a windowsill to have, like, you know.
Yeah.
To have your little, like, cute cottages, whatever, but I can see that being a problem with pets.
Yeah. You can't really do that if you have pets, because even dogs, too, would probably knock it over.
Piper's kind of interesting as dogs go. She, like, isn't really all that interested in just, like, you know, getting into stuff. She'll give things a lot of cursory sniff, but other than that...
Well, partially maybe it's because she's older, but also, like, she could accidentally be swishing that tail around.
See, not her. Because her tail does the curlicue thing.
Interesting.
But some dogs, yes.
Yeah.
Very much a possibility. But not her specifically. But yeah, I think September, like, I, like, restrain myself from starting in August, but again, that's just me as a person.
August is pretty extreme.
August is
because that's, like, summer. So.
Yeah. The way that I, like, mentally kept, like, when it gets toward the end of August, I'm just like, what's it, September 1st? What's it, September 1st? Like, as soon as it turned over, I was just like, it's time. It's my time.
I get really excited too, and, like, you know, I like Halloween. I'm not, like, as into it as you are, but I love fall so much. And so when that calendar turns, I'm like, it's coming. Because the weather is cooler. I hate the heat of summer.
I hate hot weather. When I was driving here today, there were a couple of trees where I could see at the top it was just starting to turn yellow. I was just like, oh, it's right around the corner.
You get to step on the crunchy leaves. Such a good sound, especially if you go, like, you know, on a trail or something through the woods, and you get to step on all the crunchy leaves, and you can smell the crunchy leaves. And
you should come back to Albany in October, because there's a state park called Thatcher Park. And first of all, it's near this, like, apple orchard that has some bomb-ass cider donuts. But, like, excellent views, wonderful hiking trail, absolutely gorgeous. And, like peak upstate New York fall activity. In my humble opinion.
Oh, it makes me feel so basic to talk about how much I love fall, but
I don't care at this point.
It's delightful.
It's the best time of the year.
I mean, there's so many nice things, and, like, the one thing I don't like is that it reminds me that winter is coming.
I enjoy the beginning of winter. Like, I enjoy the first half of winter.
It's not that I dislike the cold. The reason I don't like winter is because of the weather and what it does to the roads when I have a half-hour commute.
See, that's a major pain in the ass, and, like, I understand that, but, like, so many of the other things about winter are just so prime.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the season itself, it's the driving difficulties.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'll be on campus, just working away in my office, back to the window, don't know what the weather's like, and then I go to leave, and I turn around and look, and I'm like, oh, shit. Because it's, like, a blizzard out there, and sometimes that half-an-hour commute is turned into an hour and a half of people going, like, 20 on the highway.
Which is a massive pain in the ass, but also, that feeling of, like, sitting next to a window while it's snowing, you have, like, your cozy lamp and your hot beverage and a book. Like, it's the same thing in fall, like, you know, when the, like, leaves are falling down and everything. Like, the gauntlet of, like, September through December is the best time of the year.
But also early fall, like, when the leaves first start changing, you could even sit outside still maybe and do that. Like, and actually smell the fall, you know, as you sit and read.
This is prime, like, bonfire season. And as a person who just straight up enjoys lighting things on fire, it's a very good time of year for me.
Let me tell you, that lighter I got, I might have tested it out on a random piece of paper indoors, and then I remember that I was right next to a smoke detector and panicked. It didn't go off, but I was like, oh, shit, no, and turn on the sink and toss it in the sink.
I pretend I did not see.
Yeah,
no,
whoopsies. But the other reason I get excited for fall is because as a knitter, it's getting to
your time.
Sweater and scarf and hat and all those things. It's prime season coming for that.
I have to find, I don't know how long a sweater takes, so I'm assuming this would not be something I would wear, like, for a while. I need to find, like, a like a vintage Halloween sweater like pattern. So I would never take it off.
The amount of time it takes depends on how thick the yarn is.
Sure.
Well, like, thinner yarn is going to take a long time to, like, form fabric.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But if it's, like, a thick yarn, it knits up much more quickly.
Interesting.
Like, I could show you examples. I have partially finished sweaters in there of many different
shocker.
yarn widths.
Absolute shocker.
Got knitting everywhere. Actually, this is your bag of socks.
Sock bag.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I have at least like 24 knitting projects just in that little bench right there.
Incredible. Yeah, I mean, I want it to be Halloween like pretty much the entire year, but
then you might not appreciate it as much eventually, It's like anything that you can have every day. There is such a thing as too much of a good thing.
There is. But I also feel like Halloween, like, it's shoved out of the way very quickly, and I want people to appreciate it for longer.
But think about how excited you get, though. Like, when it is approaching September 1st, you wouldn't have that level of excitement if it were year-round.
You're so right. I've already watched Over the Garden Wall twice.
Jeez.
I'm, like, listening to the soundtrack at work all the time, because, especially, like, these last 2 days at work, it's been, like, gray and rainy, and I've been wearing my overalls and, like, my flannel shirt, like, I'm working in ye olden times.
Fall, yeah.
Very fall. And I'm just, like, sitting there in the lockhouse as it's, like, pouring and dark outside, listening to the Over the Garden Wall soundtrack. Oh!
You know what you need? A piece of straw to just, like...
Yeah. Yeah. It's delightful.
A toothpick might do the job.
It might. Honestly, it really might.
And then you're partially in costume.
Then I am partially in costume.
As Jackie
Daytona. I'm wearing denim. That's technically full costume.
For some reason, I can't quit making jokes about Jackie Daytona lately, and I don't know what it is.
Because it's funny as hell next week. Actually, funny thing, Kyle and I are, of course, going as Laszlo and Nadja for Halloween, but the episode that we're taking our costume inspiration from is the Jackie Daytona episode, just, like, before he runs away. Because I feel like that is the one that I could put together the easiest without having to do a ton of, like, hand sewing, because it's not that I couldn't do it, it's that I don't have that kind of experience to put it together.
Or patience, maybe. That's me projecting.
I'm simultaneously, like, not patient and incredibly patient individual. It just depends on whether or not I want to be.
Oh, you can see my hand in the camera. I just realized I was trying to...
Are we trying to beckon some cats?
Look, I have a Halloween decoration. It's alive. Come here.
Next.
Come here, spooky baby.
She's not gonna come here because I'm near here. And that's illegal.
I was like, my hand's down here, no one can see it, and I look over and there's just my hand.
Absolutely love it.
Nixie!
But
bye!
Yeah. Okay, bye. But the ones we're going with are, like, the ones from the beginning of that episode when they're still all, like, matchy-matchy and adorable, so very exciting. And I ordered, the wig for myself and fangs, so that should be arriving in the mail soon, which I'm really excited about. This is also just me getting to be really excited about essentially, like, making cosplays.
Yeah. But again, if it were year-round, you wouldn't get this excited. Because it would just be, like, normal life.
I do get a similar feeling when I am making something for a convention, but I haven't gone to a convention in a red hot minute.
It's sort of like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Essentially, yeah.
In that sense, where it's like they love Halloween all the time, so it's like Christmas is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
the similar feeling is like making stuff for a convention, which I hope I can go back to one soon. Should probably look at more local ones, but whatever.
Yeah, it's weird that I like crafting so much and yet I don't really cosplay. I don't know why. I make a lot of other things. I was just looking at fabrics the other day thinking about making my own clothes.
Again, I think it's so funny that your reaction towards 99% of the things that I do as just, like, a fan of, like, stuff is, I would like to study you. Because that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much what happens. Which is why I think it'd be really funny. I'm not gonna do it because you would be in hell. But if I added you to that group chat.
Oh.
Because we are people who need to be studied.
I saw you reach over there, like, out the corner of my eye on that. and I thought you were picking up the wax melt thing to drink it. And for a second I was like, what?
No.
Wow. I mean, it is like herb lemonade, I believe. So
no, I do remember when you had this like melted, and I was just like sitting there dipping my finger into it repeatedly.
Oh, that would have been good mood lighting to turn that on.
Yeah, I am watching our lighting quality like slowly diminish.
Because it's getting darker.
Because it's getting darker, but there's not much I can do about it.
No, I can't reach. Look at that.
Wow, that made so much difference. We're doing great.
In approximately 20 to 30 minutes, it's going to smell really nice in here once it melts through. It has to melt all the way through. It takes a while.
Oops. Yeah, I think if you would be in hell because of how active that chat is, but you would get a lot of interesting insight into the minds of some very rabid media enjoyers.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I mean, I enjoy things, but that's my, that's my level. I enjoyed that, and then I move on.
What do you think about all day?
Lots of things. I always have a million things going on.
But, like, what do you do when you're not writing fan fiction in your head all day? Because, like, that's literally what I do.
I work, I go running, I do my crafts.
I mean, yeah, obviously, like, I do things. I have things that are at the forefront of my brain. But when I'm not when you're not doing things.
Thinking about the things that I'm going to do. Just like you think about writing fan fiction before you do it.
Insane.
Like, probably right now, if I were just sitting here, I'd be thinking about the fact that I'm leaving for Ragnar in a week. And thinking about what I'm going to pack.
Interesting.
Because I still got to pack. I ordered a sleeping bag today.
You didn't have a sleeping bag?
I'm pretty sure I might have one in a box in the basement from when I was like 12.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a camper.
I was about to say... Well, I was literally about to say you didn't go to camp as a kid, because that's where the one I have is from.
Yeah, that's where mine's from. I was in an organization called Campfire, which is like, Boy Scout, Girl Scout kind of thing, but for boys and girls.
Oh, that's fun.
So, yeah, I went to, like, summer camp and regular camps there and everything, but that's what my sleeping bag's from. But keep in mind, I'm 13 years older than you are, so it's that old. And it was torn back then.
Okay, yeah.
So, I was like, it's probably time for a new one. Since we'll be in the...
That does make sense.
In the van for 2 straight days with nowhere to sleep.
Oh, fun.
I was like, sleeping bag sounds like a great plan for that.
Yeah, what is the arrangement there?
I don't know. Figure it out as we go.
Cool, I love it.
Yeah.
I am very excited to hear updates. Okay. So this is one that I am just going to be explaining things a lot because... Okay. Have you heard anything about this at all? About the drama surrounding both the production of this film and the premiere / red carpet at the Venice Film Festival. It's a film called Don't Worry, Darling, starring Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, Chris Pine, and apparently a lot of stuff went down in pre-production.
Now that you say that, I didn't remember the name of the movie, but I remember seeing a few things about something with Florence Pugh.
Okay, so it was directed by Olivia Wilde, and apparently a lot of stuff went down on set, as well as things going down like at the red carpet event that was part of the Venice Film Festival. And I have this whole Reddit thread or this Reddit post, which is a bunch of links to various bits of evidence or just other things having to do with this, which I will be linking. But what it essentially boils down to is that apparently while this, and the whole question is essentially, what do you think about this? And I had put this question on the document when I thought Zach was still coming tonight, and he's a bit more online in the same ways that I am, so I figured he would have at least heard about it. So there's really not a question anymore of what do you think about the Don't Worry, Darling drama. This is just me explaining the Don't Worry, Darling drama to you now. And
Good,
then you can share your opinions, if you form any. But I haven't looked into this crazy in depth or anything, but what I have gathered is that, first of all, originally Shia LaBeouf was supposed to play the role that Harry Styles is playing.
Right. See, I know some things. I saw that.
So supposedly
went off the deep end.
I mean, yeah, the man has not been okay for a red hot minute. That's not news. like, they publicly stated, like, oh, like, there's time conflicts, I can't rehearse, like, you know, they can't rehearse, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, he was removed from the film because Florence Pugh did not feel safe working with him, but then I guess some audio emerged of, like, Olivia Wilde, like, begging him to come back, or whatever. It's extremely, extremely messy, and also just the way that, like, Olivia Wilde and Florence Pugh were, like, were not acknowledging each other at the premiere of this movie in Venice. Like, just, like, blinders on, not acknowledging each other, is interesting, to say the very least.
Yeah, I saw a headline that basically said that Shia LaBeouf had said, like, they didn't fire me, I chose to leave, because apparently they had been reporting that he was fired from the movie.
Okay.
But he said it was his choice. That was, I just remembered where I saw a thing. That was what it was.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I don't know everything. I haven't, like, super in-depth researched this. This is just what I'm getting from, like, Twitter and from the internet. But, like, there's also a video that looks like, and it's kind of grainy footage, but it looks like when Harry Styles is sitting back down in his seat at the Venice Film Festival, and he, like, gets up to go do something or whatever right before the movie starts rolling, it looks like he spits on Chris Pine.
What Chris Pine do?
I have absolutely no idea. And there are all these, and, like, Chris Pine seems to be in absolute hell doing the, like, press junkets for these with Harry Styles, because I think, like, Chris Pine has actually, like studied film, like, quite extensively.
Yeah.
And then Harry Styles, like, answering these questions, like, I like that this movie doesn't feel like a movie. It's very, and, like, and Chris Pine is just, like, 1,000-yard stare into the distance, like, just, like, actively dissociating as this man is speaking. And there's all these pictures of him, like, having to stand in between Florence Pugh and Olivia Wilde. It's messy. It's real. Like, it is, like, calling to mind, like, old Hollywood type feuds where people would, like, come to blows on set. And also, apparently, during the production of this is when Olivia Wilde was served the custody agreement on stage by Jason Sudeikis, like, because supposedly she started having an affair with Harry Styles while working on this movie, to the point that Florence Pugh had to step in and direct for her.
Okay.
It's unbelievably messy. So that's essentially, like, there's a lot of information coming out. Thoughts was essentially the question.
I mean,
because I love a good Hollywood feud where, like, no actual real people are getting hurt, it's just rich people being catty with each other.
But that's the thing I don't understand, like, how is it that hard to be an adult and get along with other adults?
I mean, these are also people who have never been told no in their entire lives.
Yeah, but that's like, they still know what's right and wrong.
I would say debatable.
No, I mean, you know that it's wrong to cheat on your spouse, for example.
Okay, well, yeah, obviously.
You know? I mean, I don't know what else happened, that's the only thing I know that, like, happened for sure that I can point to, but...
it's not even, like, 100%, but, like, very strongly suspected.
Yeah. But, like, how hard is it to not be a dick to people?
For a lot of people in the industry, apparently very difficult.
Knock it off! Like, I just don't understand. I mean, sure, I've encountered people in my life that I don't like for whatever reason, but I get along with them.
Yeah.
You know, I just never understood how this kind of drama gets generated. Maybe I'm just too laid back about things to get, like, that over.
Oh, and this is, like, slightly older Hollywood news, and it's not even necessarily beef, but my man Leo broke up with his girlfriend, like, as soon as she turned 25.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's way too old.
Apparently.
But I mean, it's frankly kind of gross, but I also enjoy a lot of the jokes and memes that get made about it.
Oh, the jokes are extremely funny. And here's the thing. I understand celebrities not dating regular people.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was on last podcast, Henry said that when he was working on Wolf of Wall Street, he, like, briefly talked to Leonardo DiCaprio a couple times.
Yeah.
And Leonardo DiCaprio said, he was like, listen, there is nothing for me to talk about with just a normal person, like a normal woman my age.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it makes sense.
They're like, what common ground does someone who knows nothing of this industry have with somebody who has won who's won an Oscar?
Well, and he probably doesn't do like the everyday things like go to the grocery store that
Yeah,
normal
he just doesn't. So I understand
how
celebrities not dating regular people because what common experiences do you have?
Yeah, no way.
But the refusing to date a woman who's 25 or older, disgusting.
Yeah, no, that's terrible.
Disgusting.
Like, I don't even understand why you would want that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't imagine dating anybody. What? I was about to say I'm almost 37. I just realized I'm like a month away from my birthday. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep saying mid-30s. Makes me feel right.
Seems alright to me.
Okay. I can't imagine at this point dating anybody younger. I mean, definitely not younger than 30. But maybe not even younger than maybe 33. Because as you age, you learn more things. You learn about yourself. You get more, settled in life.
And I think a year feels a lot like a much bigger gap when you're 22.
I don't know. I mean, it still feels like even when I talk to people who just turned 30, for some reason that feels so far, so long ago to me sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it is such a big milestone kind of, and it was a bit challenging, letting go of the 20s. And so when somebody is just going through it, I'm like, oh my god, you're like a baby.
Well, I mean, Kyle's 3 years older than I am.
Yeah.
And even when I was in college, dating somebody 3 years older than me would have felt really weird. But I met him when I was 23, so I was like, yeah, okay. Or I was 24, I was like, yeah, okay.
But you're both in your 20s.
Yeah.
Versus I couldn't date anybody in the 20s at this point, because I'm closer to 40 than 20 now.
Yeah.
So I guess I was like, what was the point I was trying to make? I don't understand why you would want to date somebody with less maturity and life experience than yourself, I guess.
I do get that, and I think it's extra creepy when it's part of a pattern. If somebody's over 25 and it just happens that they life is weird and it just happens that they fall for somebody who's 34.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's part of a pattern of the refusing to date a woman who's 25 or older, then it's gross.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and I had a boyfriend for a few years that was 15 years older than I am, and it was challenging a lot of the time. He didn't get my references, I didn't get his references.
Oh my god, there's some stand-up comedian who, she's in her 20s, and she was talking about how she was dating this guy who was 35, and he they got takeout or something, and he took a Zantac, and she was like, oh sweet, what are we taking? As in it's a Xanax or something.
Yeah.
And he was just I was like, wow.
No, but that stuff is so true, because the older you get, you have to do these little things, and it starts to build and you don't even notice it.
Well, no, again, not that it's wrong if somebody is 25 and their partner is 35, but you cannot peel yourself up off of the floor in the same way as when you were 26.
Nope. Yeah.
And I'm speaking as someone who's I'm 24. I have felt like my life is almost over since I was about 13, but realistically, I know that it's not. So I'm I still have a good couple of years, I think, of
quarter way through-ish.
Of having to being able to scrape myself up off the sidewalk and be okay.
Yeah. I think it was 26, 27 when I had my first 2-day hangover.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you know what?
I'm 24. A couple years.
I was right with the a couple, is what I'm gonna say. But yeah, it's the repeated choosing of someone who is a child.
Yeah.
In terms of disparity in life experience.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think if your sole or primary criterion for choosing a romantic partner is their age, there's something wrong with that.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because you shouldn't dismiss somebody out of hand just because of their age, but nor should you choose somebody exclusively because of their age.
Oh, 100%. Which is why we stand Keanu Reeves in this house. Because he's one of the only, like...
This house. It was my house. I'm kidding.
Am I wrong?
I'm kidding. No, I love Keanu Reeves. What a delight. Oh, man, now I'm thinking about Speed. What a great movie. Great film.
Fun disaster. And the fact that Dennis Hopper is in that.
Yeah.
Frank Booth.
He does such a good job, too, man. He's just...
He's a very interesting sort of figure of Hollywood lore.
Now we have to watch Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Hell yes.
Which I've never seen the entire thing, I don't think.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Dennis Hopper, very interesting to me. He was absolutely excellent. I love that movie so much. And his whole, like, personal life story is deeply fucked up, but very interesting. So, like, the worst cocaine addiction that Hollywood had ever seen. And, like, I don't think you get to that point if you feel okay about yourself.
Yeah. Agree.
Interesting life story. And he's just been in so much. Like, he's, like, in old episodes of, like, The Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Like, wow. A lot of film and TV history there.
So why is it that we stand Keanu in this house?
Because he's, like, dating a woman who's, like, near his own age in Hollywood.
What an accomplishment!
What an accomplishment
indeed. Doing what the vast majority of people seem to do in the world, but...
Well, I mean, not in Hollywood.
Just not in Hollywood, yeah, but...
But, yeah.
What a bar to set.
And also, again, you know, quietly financed multiple children's hospitals out of his own pocket.
Yeah, no, he's a lovely human, by all accounts.
Big fan.
Right. This is 2 weeks in a row we've talked about Keanu on the pod.
You know, frankly, I think we deserve to talk about... I think Keanu deserves to be talked about every single day.
But I do enjoy him. Alright.
Yeah, this is a very long-winded, accidental deep dive into Hollywood when I was just going to ask you about what are your thoughts on the Don't Worry Darling drama.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, my thoughts are that I love watching these ridiculous actor feuds because it's like old Hollywood where people used to, like, come to blows over things. And that was really entertaining.
I think this maybe has something to do with whatever the core personality differences that we have, where, like, you know, you get really into, like, fictional characters and stuff, too. Because, like, I couldn't care less about what people in Hollywood are doing.
Like, I don't actually care.
Yeah.
But it's really entertaining.
But see, I don't even think that. I don't even think that. I'm just like, look at those children. Okay.
It's very entertaining to me because, like, who's getting hurt? It's just a bunch of rich people.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like an I don't care because they're like, oh, it's terrible. It's like, just zero interest.
No, that's fair. That is entirely fair. Okay. So the last thing that we have is taken from a TikTok, which I will be posting in the comments for this, or in the description for this video. But, it's a TikTok of somebody being like, day 4 of trying to purchase one of the grocery dividers in a grocery store checkout lane, and it's bright yellow, so they're, like, disguising it in a bunch of bananas. Obviously, it doesn't work. The person takes the divider and puts it back. But, like, how would you go about attempting to purchase a grocery divider is my question.
I don't think you can.
But, like, say you have to. For whatever reason. This is a task that that's not fun. You have to accomplish it in some fun way.
But, like, I mean, the only thing I can think is if you snag one of them when an employee isn't looking, and then you pull the little things that have the, like, labels out of it, you know, so you can't see the name of the grocery store on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go and you grab a UPC code from some other thing. Actually, if you go to Wegmans and you, like, weigh something on one of the fruit things and you print out a little label, stick that on there. And so maybe if they're not paying attention enough, they just pick it up, scan it, and you've got it, as long as they don't notice that the screen says, like, apples or whatever.
I mean, as a person who's worked at a cash register before, my brain was a million miles away.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I never paid attention when
if I hear the beep, we're okay.
Yeah. Or you could try to get something that's relatively close, like at least something long and stocky, like celery or some leeks.
Here's my thought. What if you, like, put it in the center of a tube of wrapping paper? This is essentially stealing at this point.
I was going to say, but you're not purchasing it.
You're not purchasing it.
You have to pay money for it to count as purchasing, which is why I'm thinking if you get the UPC and then they scan it, you're paying something for that item.
Yeah. But then I guess that kind of does lead into other interesting ways to smuggle a grocery divider out of a grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
Wrapping paper, for one.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of things, like, if you buy containers at a store, they'll often open them to check inside to make sure there isn't anything in there.
So you know how you have that one aunt or uncle that's, like, significantly crazier than all the rest?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's my mom's brother, Keith.
Mm-hmm.
And one time, he was visiting, and we, like, happened to be going to Target for something, I don't know why. My sister bought, like, one of those clear plastic storage bins, and when he put it up, just likes to mess with people, and when he put it up on the register, and the person was scanning it, he was like, oh, don't forget to check inside, make sure we're not stealing anything. It was clear. Which just reminded me of that. Anyway, yeah, other ways to smuggle a grocery divider out of a grocery store. You could replace the roll of, like, plastic wrap or foil in the box with the divider.
I was trying to imagine something full of, like, liquid or mush that you could slide. Because, like, but I don't think it's anything tall enough, but how fun would it be if there was, like, a thing of cottage cheese?
That's a bizarre item to imagine. But alright.
Tall cottage cheese?
Tall cottage cheese. Boom, episode title.
Actually, it'd have to be really tall cottage cheese, because even the biggest ones I've seen are like that tall. So you can just imagine the size of the cottage. Oh man, I want that cottage cheese.
Potential controversial opinion, the texture of cottage cheese offends me so much.
Oh, I love cottage cheese. Especially get some fruit in there.
Like, I love a good, like, when you have, like, some, like, brie and crackers and, like, a fruit, that's lovely. The cheese and fruit thing doesn't offend me, it's the texture of cottage cheese.
I enjoy it. I like it because it's so different.
I just can't do it.
I'm thinking about cottage cheese.
Not a fan.
I wish I had cottage cheese. I had some, I ate it the other day.
Shocker.
It was just like an individual cup with pineapple and the cottage cheese. So I ate it.
Again, the sweet and savory thing of fruit and cheese. I am not against it whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just a texture thing. I have so many weird texture things.
How about that Havarti? That was good cheese.
That was delightful cheese.
Or was it Big Bell?
We had cheeseburgers for, like, really late lunch, and they were super good.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, I've never got that particular kind of Havarti before, and I was like, oh, this is actually really good.
Nice.
Love that cheese. Or like I was trying to think of things that it looks like a freeze pop kind of thing. If you slide it in the box of freeze pops, it kind of looks like one.
Or, like, you know how they have the freeze pops? They're like all like the plastic is all connected. It's like in that netting.
Yeah.
Like you just slide it in the middle there.
Yeah, I mean you probably have to pull it apart a little bit to be able to fit it.
But I mean still.
Yeah,
it's possible.
That would be noticeable. I'm mentally going through the grocery store.
I know. I'm like trying to think of just like things that have like long and tall packaging.
Which is actually surprisingly difficult to think of. Like a box of spaghetti?
Ooh. That might work.
Just have to make sure it doesn't show in the little window.
Yeah, make sure you have the pasta like in front of it.
Yeah. Just take out half the pasta and put it like, window down and then slide it on top.
This is like trying to like smuggle drugs into another country.
Which, I mean, we probably wouldn't be good at it. I was going to say we'd be good at it, but then I changed my mind.
Absolutely not.
No. You don't think they would think to check our giant tub of cottage sheets? Not giant, just tall. Like, you don't need a huge...
That's what makes it suspicious.
You don't need to have a proportionate container for the height you would need for the divider with the proportionate width. I mean, that would be a mammoth size. So you really just need a tall skinny.
Well, I mean, in Breaking Bad,
I'm just imagining it.
They're smuggling tiny amounts of drugs and buckets of chicken.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, it does happen.
Those big tubs of ice cream?
That could work. I think the best ones that I've come up with so far are, like, the wrapping paper, the, like, aluminum foil box, or, like, the spaghetti one I like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think the freeze pop is a good, like, plan B.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I might be out of ideas. Indeed.
Just thinking about, been thinking primarily about, like, food items and, like, kitchen items. Well, what about, like, they have the, like, the toiletries and medicines and all those sorts of things, too.
I mean, I feel like a toothpaste, like a box of toothpaste.
Wouldn't be long enough.
It wouldn't be long. Like, it's probably the right, like, width. Like, you could fit it in, like, you could stick it in the box, but so much of it would be showing.
But they have, like, they sell, like, knee braces and stuff, for example, that would have longer, skinny boxes and stuff like that.
You make an excellent point.
Just going through the aisles in Wegmans, which is hard to do because they changed them all again.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, I can't find anything.
My apologies.
Like, they moved literally every single thing. Everything.
But are the two Wegmans layouts the same now?
No.
Oh, so it's just worse.
They changed both of them, but in different ways.
I'm very sorry.
It makes me very upset.
Would you like to talk about this?
Well, because, like, to find, like, a single thing, like, I was trying to find the goldfish the other night, and it took me, like, 5 minutes, and I walked the whole store a couple of times to only find that they were in the exact same aisle I had been in when I thought of getting goldfish.
Ouch.
Because I was standing there looking for the fudge striped cookies, and the shelf was empty. I was like, well, I better go look for those goldfish, and they were right behind me. But I walked around for 5 minutes before I figured that out.
Very nicely done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, I've been up since 5 a.m., worked out twice, and worked a full day, and it was like 9 o'clock at night at that point.
That will do that to you.
Yeah, and plus I had been running in the rain, so I was soaked to the bone and cold.
Lack of sleep is a hell of a drug. I have probably told this story on the podcast before, but literally, when I, like, finally got to the hotel in St. Petersburg, I remember just thinking, like, oh, fuck. Like, what have I done? I am now here. I am now in another country for a month. My mom was right. I should never have done this. This was a terrible idea. And then I slept for 12 hours and then had the best month of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, no sleep really will be doing stuff to you.
Yeah, makes a difference.
Because I just remember feeling just absolute dread and regret because I had been awake for, like, 20 hours at that point. And then I slept for 12 and I was like, all right.
I just realized the day that I was describing was yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought that was days ago. I just realized that was last night at 9 p.m.
Well, it made sense because you told me about the fudge stripe things earlier today.
I know, but I still somehow thought that was days ago.
And how much sleep did you get last night?
I don't know. I don't sleep.
I know, it's genuinely concerning how cavalier you are about it.
I mean, I try. What are you gonna do? Exactly.
Oh, no, I just can't say it on the podcast.
I know what you want to say, but I can't do that every night.
I mean, technically people do.
Yeah, but that's, not a good habit.
Fair enough.
You don't want to rely on things,
Yeah.
Just generally anything that you would use to fall asleep if you get too reliant on it, just kind of, like people that can't fall asleep unless they have, like, the TV on.
I don't do that shit. I don't fuck with that.
But there are a lot of people that do.
Oh, my mom is like that.
Like, yeah, I have a friend who can only sleep with a fan on, so she actually travels with a travel fan.
Honestly, that's way more normal than the TV thing, I think, personally.
Well, at least, like, when you travel places, there's almost always a TV, like hotel rooms and stuff.
Yeah, point taken.
I just, sleep. But anyway, the point being, when you're reliant on something like that, it's, harder to sleep, and you don't always have the thing you need to fall asleep, and it's better to just, I'm not going to use the phrase I was about to phrase.
You're going to tell me that after we're done recording.
Did I just say I'm not going to use the phrase I was about to phrase?
You did.
Wow.
We're doing great.
I think I might be tired.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, cool. I was meaning to say the phrase I was going to say, not phrase.
When I was in high school and I had the whole anxiety/OCD thing way less under control, I, could not sleep sans melatonin just because my mind was racing.
I do use that a lot.
Constantly.
Yeah.
But now the crushing weight of existence tires me out sufficiently.
Sometimes I have to take it because I'll be laying there trying to fall asleep and my mind will keep, thinking of things I need to do, and so I'll roll over and, put something on my to-do list, or I'll roll over and Google something real quick.
Yep.
And I'm like, you know what? We're taking melatonin, brain.
We are fixing this.
Mm-hmm. It's we can't have this. You gotta sleep, man.
Yeah, no. I have 100% been there.
Especially now that I'm back to getting up at 5 in the morning.
I pretend I do not see it. How's that going for you?
Wonderfully, as you can tell.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. I don't know why I asked. I don't know why I asked, truly.
Do it to myself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say that you don't, because you 100% do, but I still sympathize.
Do I have to get up at 5 a.m. for a 10:30 class?
Again.
But once you add in the time for, my workout and shower and eating a solid breakfast, which is very important, and all the time I have to spend petting the cats, it takes a lot of time. And I have a 30-minute commute. And I like to get there before my class so I can make sure I'm ready for it. These cats demand pets. You'll see tomorrow.
I've seen many a time.
But, they will not be denied. I just sent you guys I sent that snap to you and Zach yesterday of Nix and her little air biscuits.
I did see. I've also woken up to them in my face, attention?
But it's I'm trying to get dressed and get out the door, and I look, and Nix is just putting her paws in the air like that, and I can't. And she's just standing there with one paw in the air, it hurts me, I can't put all 4 paws down. And then
Hey, I've had my dog at my house for the last 10 days, and I get up at 6 in the morning.
I have to wonder how much more time I would have and how less often? Does that make sense?
No, yeah.
Why does that sound like it's...
frequently.
Yeah, that's why I was using an adverb.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, I know how the English language works.
But I wouldn't be late as frequently, how about that?
Yeah, okay, that works.
Because for some reason Nick seems to know when I have somewhere I need to be. And that's when she starts the cuteness. Yeah. And then she lays it on real thick and blinks a lot, she can't keep her eyes open. And then because she's a black cat, her pupils get really big. It's she just turns into this black mask. Yeah. Yep. And I can't. She knows it's my weakness.
Evil.
Because I immediately have to go and pet her and kiss her little noggin. And...
Evil.
She went upstairs.
She wasn't gonna come anywhere near the frame of view because I'm in the frame of view.
Yeah, well, I thought at least Luna would come walking through or something.
She got close for a second up on the windowsill, but I don't think she ever made it in.
Sleeping.
Although I guess I'll find out when I edit, but...
Yeah, she's sleeping over there on the cat tree. No, I don't think she did, because I kind of looked over when...
Find out for certain when I actually go in and edit this.
I'm pretty sure she didn't.
I don't think so.
Luna fish. Yeah. She's sleeping, sort of.
Okay. Adorable. Alright, well, this has been a fun, interesting, slightly out of format episode.
Yeah, different feel.
We try. We try to keep things interesting.
Keep it fresh.
We do our best. But still, as always, thank you for fighting with us, friends. We appreciate each and every single one of you. And we'll be back again next week in our usual setting. Adios.
This week's episode of the Fighting with Friends podcast was hosted by Bridget Kelly, Zach Calderon, and Dr. Sarah Brooks. You can find other episodes of the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, or your other favorite listening platform. Follow us on Twitter at BridgetKelly98, at Zach Calderon, and at AnnSarahSaid. Rate and review us on your podcatcher of choice. Like, comment, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, and join our Discord community using the links in the description. You can also help support us via the Acast supporter feature or consider donating to our Patreon. Thanks for listening.